Hello, hi there Sagittarius. I do hope that you are all well and welcome to my channel. My name is Bella and most people know me as Bella the Secret Psychic, and this is your monthly horoscope for March 2020. Still getting used to that, it's like nearly March. Anyway, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm a psychic, so I interpret information that I get from my spirit guides. That's how I work. I don't use cards to help you navigate your love life during this month. And I also don't like to waste time, so we're going to just jump right in there also as well. If you'd like to know more about me and my services, though, the links to what I do and how you can get hold of me are just down below. Right, so this is a little bit sort of like, I feel overall, guys, that this is a good month for you. It starts out a bit weird, I think, is probably the word to use. And because this is a general reading, I'm not sure where to place the energy that I'm seeing at the beginning, whether this is you doing this, whether this is the person you're interested or with doing this, or whether there is somebody outside of your connection, friend, family member, doing this to what I call gun load. What I mean by that is somebody plants a seed, plants the bullet, and then sits back and watches the fireworks go off. So I'm going to have to try to word this with that in mind. Just bear that in mind. What I can tell you, it does feel like an uphill journey. But then when you get to the top of the hill, there's a reward for you. Like there's the achievement of getting up Mount Kilimanjaro, for example. You get there in the end, and there is a lot of success in what it is you're trying to achieve romantically, single or otherwise. But how it kind of starts from the beginning of March is, let's word it this way. So if you're with somebody new or long term, they feel like they're trying to fool you that something they are doing or not doing isn't true. It's almost like, so for example, you might be seeing somebody single, you're dating somebody new, and they might be maybe exaggerating their life, their achievements, in order to gain favour with you. There may be some small lies, they may be deceiving you, but it is because they like you so much that they want you. Now, these lies could be small or big, which also includes that they could also not be telling you that they're single, when they're not really, just because they want you. If you're in a long-term relationship, it could be that for various reasons, it could be, again, for nice reasons, they're keeping something from you because there's a surprise. For others, they're keeping something from you because they're having an affair. Somewhere, it could also be somewhere in the middle. I'm sorry I have to be vague, but it's a general reading and this can cover many different things. When I look at it from a third party perspective, where somebody's perhaps gun loading, it could be that they've heard of, or based on your conversations with them, they are making assumptions that make you doubt the other person's sincerity or loyalty with you. So an example could be that you've met some wonderful new person, and maybe there's a couple of red flags that you've seen that remind you of a past relationship, and you've gone to speak to your best friend about it, and they're immediately on self-protecting you, saying, yeah, because I heard that person did this before, and you want to be careful because you don't want to be down that road again. And then you're like, yeah, sure, you're right. And then you pull out of the connection because you've been gun loaded, when actually you need to see where this goes, which is partly what this reading is about. Because even though I'm saying all these three things and they feel a little bit negative, they're not really, because I just feel like whatever is happening, whatever that person is trying to pretend or hiding something, or you've got these worries or these doubts that enable somebody else to gun load you, it's not quite as it seems, or maybe quite not as negative as it seems. How do I get here? So I'm just trying to explain the path a little bit that you end up going on, because I know that's in the first week. And then sort of second week, slightly first week as well. Like, I think it's really weird because I don't know, actually I'm going to miss that bit because it's weird because I feel like it's a little bit of perhaps you think you're going in the right direction and then you change your mind and then you allow these doubts to get to you. So by the time we get to the second week, you then begin to question, I even get argue with the other person because you're starting to believe that something is up. So again, like it's almost like you start feeling like, oh no, I want to ignore the doubts, and then the doubts get too big because of behaviours, or you find out that what they said is not true, that you then start to question it. They then don't explain themselves or continue the lie, and again they might have a really good reason, and it then leads you to get quite angry with them, and I get heated conflict with that person because you're trying to get to the truth. Now the trouble with this, because this is a general reading, if it's because they're hiding something because there's a surprise, you might have egg on your face, but it is what it is. So second week there's conflict, and I have to say, because of the conflict, and you keep persisting, or you're like, no, well, I'm just pulling out of this now. I'm either not going to talk to you, or we're just going to continue arguing if we're in a partnership until I get the truth, or I'm just going to leave. You're in that kind of state of mind, that no matter how it came about. And then I get this person then has to reveal the truth. But they do it from this loving perspective because they want to reassure you that anything that they were doing that was untowards or negative or secretive is because of their care for you. I think when I look at that, and I know I've just previously said that maybe somebody you're seeing is seeing somebody else, I think the only way that they could justify that is if you were newly dating them and they fell for you and didn't know how to tell you. That might fit in this scenario. I think if somebody you're in a long-term relationship with, who then tries to explain that they had an affair and that it was to your benefit, I don't think that quite works out. So I feel like I want to rule out those that are in a long-term relationship that this is applicable to. What I do get is that whatever the discomfort, secret or hiding thing this happens this month, I said this is an uphill journey. By the time you get to the third and fourth week, you basically have got the truth, there's a heart to heart, and it works out in the end. The truth will set you free. And I don't see you discounting this person or breaking up with this person as the end result. I actually get that whatever this is brings you closer. Massively. Now, I'm very aware that we start this beginning of this month still in a Mercury retrograde, and then we come out of it and that energy that sort of aggravates this kind of thing is no longer there. And it feels like your story very much fits in line with the astrological alignments that's going on, aggravation to it being peaceful. But you have a resolution that brings you closer at the end of this. So I kind of, sometimes when I do these readings, they can be to help you think about doing something differently. On this occasion, I probably want to say to you guys, actually, let this happen because it brings you closer. So sometimes discomfort is good, maybe. Anyway, basically, I get a lot of you getting your wish in terms of the dynamic and the closeness that you get by the time you get to the end of this month. And that can't be a bad thing. Relationships are there to test us and to help us grow. And it certainly feels like in this month, that's what happens for you. So I hope that's been helpful, guys. If you want to subscribe, please do. And if you want to be notified of when my next videos are, just press the bell. And I'll be back again next month. Take care, everybody. Bye.